This was the scene on the corner of Sutter Avenue and Euclid in Brooklyn's East New York section today after a massive manhole explosion. Two Consolidated Edison Utility workers, Penney and George Dillman, were splicing cables early this afternoon when they became trapped in the blast. Penney, a Queens resident, survived the blast and was rushed to nearby Brookdale Hospital in critical condition with severe burns to his body. Dillman remained trapped in the manhole and ultimately succumbed to his injuries before he could be rescued. Residents recalled the scene.
What I saw was when I came out of the chicken place, they were standing down there. When the guy was down in the hole, his friend was standing. I seen a little smoke coming up out of the hole. The guy was standing over there screaming down for him. By the time he was screaming for him, I just walked off and walked on away. When I walked away, then the next thing I know, I heard the commotion and I seen the guy standing there still screaming, and then the fire just went up, boom! And it just went up in the air and was right up over the truck.
How was his friend reacting?
He was scared. He was nervous. He didn't know what to do.
He was screaming or something?
He was screaming, you know, calling his name. And he didn't know what to do. I don't remember his name.
Just heard a loud boom in the house, and we came out and we just saw smoke, and we came down, and that's when all the fire engines and everyone was coming around, and I went backwards to hear the news, and Channel 12 had it on.
Although the cause of the blast still isn't clear, District 42 City Council member Charles Barron rushed to the scene and cited heavy construction and called for a complete investigation.
We want to find out what happened, what caused this explosion. We're getting different reports about a very powerful live wire that was problematical while the worker underneath was working on a less powerful wire. But the people around said they saw it, they saw the explosion. We want to make sure none of the carbon monoxide gets into any of these homes. It's a tragedy. Poor man, probably coming to work, and Lord knows he didn't think this was his last day. We just want a full report from Con Edison as to why it happened. We want to make sure our community is safe. There's a lot of construction going on in our neighborhood. There's a lot of Con Edison digging in our neighborhood, and we want to make sure that they're doing everything to make sure nothing like this ever happens again, and we want a full report. No, it wasn't from here.
Councilman, neighbors have told me that there is a lot of work going on in the neighborhood. That one woman who lives just a block away said she was working out on the east end of Long Island for the summer. She came back and found a big hole in front of her house with boards over it. She said that's kind of been the way it's been going around here for months.
Right, there's a lot of Con Edison work going on in our neighborhood. We just want to make sure that they're doing everything they can to make our community safe. And plus, we want to know what they're doing. All of this work in our neighborhood, what are some of the reasons? And our officers have been investigating each project that comes in our neighborhood, and we're going to continue to do that.
Other residents that we spoke to told SalemNews.com that this wasn't the first incident of the sort this year.
This is not the first time that something like this happened in this area. This is not the first time that manhole blew up. So they're kind of aware of the problem. You understand?
So you think that it's negligence on their part?
Yes, I do. I strongly believe that it's negligence on their part.
If you obviously come over here and see the amount of potholes that are up and down on Euclid Avenue, that's all due to the underground piping and everything else.
Yes.
And they're not doing anything about it.
What I would like to say, as my colleague said, in other neighborhoods, you don't find these kind of problems. Only in poverty-stricken neighborhoods. And you know, I'm very proud of where I'm from, but at the same time, we need change because stuff like that is going to always happen if no one steps up and makes sure that these things are done. Because that could have been prevented. You know, that was just a ticking time bomb waiting to happen.
The FDNY wasn't able to comment on that, but they did offer assurances to the neighborhood that they were doing everything they could to prevent poison gases from seeping into the air.
There's a lot of things going on. You got to coordinate things. We check the surrounding buildings. When you get a fire in a manhole like that, it generates carbon monoxide and feedback to the surrounding buildings. So part of our assessment is we get units in each building. They take CO readings. So that was one of my concerns. Also, my concern is to find out what the situation is with Consolidated Edison.
For more on this story, visit www.salemnews.com and search NYC. Make SalemNews.com your new local home for news and notes. Search your own local city for more news and updates from home. For SalemNews.com, I'm Will Darius.